Hello everyone. So, this is not the type of video that I actually usually do on this channel, but I decided to do it because I've been so invested in this freaking show that I just felt like doing it. And honestly, I've been seeing some stuff online that it's really been bugging me, so I've kind of been wanting to talk about it. And I never do these type of videos, although I have so many opinions because I'm an opinionated bitch. So I do have a lot of these opinions in me and I want to like put them out there, but then I don't because I don't really want to do these videos. A lot of times, honestly, it's mostly based on the fact that like nowadays giving an opinion on something related to K-pop a lot of times can immediately, for a lot of people that do not even give themselves to the trouble of actually trying to listen to the words you're saying, immediately goes into your intentions are not great. Like people just read into everything you do and everything you say, and so it's pretty dangerous almost at this point to say anything in K-pop. Like it's really gotten to that point, and I understand why, because a lot of people in K-pop are assholes and specifically use their opportunity like in videos to speak negatively of something instead of positively, and I understand that, but like truly just like we need to chill in general as like a community, K-pop community. We need to chill a lot of times. But yeah, basically, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like I went into this with the idea of not watching the show. I am horrible with survival shows. I have never enjoyed survival shows. I got into K-pop around the time that IZ*ONE's survival show was happening. So IOI and 101 was already like a thing. I believe they already actually disbanded as well, if I'm not mistaken, or 101 was like around the time they were gonna disband when I got into K-pop. And so I did know about Produce 48. I didn't watch it. I saw IZ*ONE's debut and I enjoyed IZ*ONE's debut. And from then on, I just really did not watch survival shows. As I said, I tried watching them. I just never really enjoyed them. First of all, I'm someone with like, extreme anxiety, so I was already the person who usually like waited for the lineup to be announced. I waited for the end of the show. I just tried not to get as many spoilers as possible. I waited until the final lineup was announced. I'd go watch the final lineup, and then I'd watch the show with my intention already set on the lineup, so I wouldn't get disappointed or like upset if a certain trainee didn't debut. Because I hated that. Okay, that was me. I'm the bitch who reads the last page of the book before he continues to read the book, just so he can know where it's going. Like, I'm that person, okay? I know. So Boys Planet was no different. Girls Planet happened the same way. I watched the first episode. I had heard about Girls Planet specifically because of Yujin from CLC. I was like, I want to see that girl do well. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I got there and I was like, I'm scared. She might not debut, or if something happens and she doesn't debut, like I'm gonna be upset, so I didn't watch it. And then I got to the final lineup. I saw that she had debuted. I saw some people that I've heard of that I wanted to debut got to debut, so I was like, okay, maybe I'll watch Girls Planet. I didn't really end up watching it completely because, as I said, although I love these girls and I loved Kepler and I'm a fan of Kepler still, I'm not really good with survival shows. I don't know why, but they don't usually captivate me. They don't usually keep me alert. They don't usually have the ability to keep me like entertained. I skip most of the episodes. I've never been someone to watch definitely a survival show live. It's not for me. Like Island, the same thing happened. I waited until we for sure knew who debuted in an iPhone until I watched Island. I watched the first episode, loved Sonu, and I didn't really get the concept that they were going to be grounders and that they were going to be eliminated, but they could come back. And so in the first episode, immediately when I saw that they eliminated Sonu, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm not doing this to myself. I'm not watching this. Like, already the person I like the most got eliminated first episode. Like, no, we're not doing this. So when I saw the lineup and I saw he was there, I was like, what? How did they bring him back? I was like, what happened? And then because of that, I ended up watching the show, and then I got it. But like, I cannot watch survival shows. So I went into this basically when I heard that they announced Boys Planet, the boy version of Girls Planet 999. I was like, we're not watching until we know the final lineup, and that's fine. But then when the first episode was coming and I saw who was in the show, the trainees that they announced, and I saw that Kim Ji-woon was there. I don't know if that's, I really never pronounced these names. The thing is, I pronounce their names correctly outside of the camera. When I get on camera, suddenly their names just do not leave my lips correctly. But basically, the BL actor, the actor from Kissable Lips, when I saw that he was there, I was like, maybe I will watch the show. For him only, and he better debut or I'm gonna be upset. And so I watched the first episode, in which he, I don't think even actually is, but I watched the first episode and I ended up really liking a lot of the trainees, and I was like, okay, you do not, no, you need to, no, you cannot watch this. You cannot watch this, because like literally from just the first episode alone, I already had like a top 4 instead of a top 1, which was only him. And suddenly I had a top 4. He was in it, although he literally did not even perform in the first episode. And I was like, okay, we're not watching this. We're done. Like, I'm gonna stop. And then Boys Planet ended up going into episode 5. I saw some stuff online, but not a lot. And that's when I realized, you know what, maybe I will take the time to watch this, because I had a lot of free time at the time at work in particular. So I would just turn on Boys Planet and watch it. And I ended up watching episode 2 and 3 in one day, and I was extremely hooked. And I, at that time, like I said, continued with a top 4. I went into the finale with a top 4. I had more people that I enjoyed, but I was like fixed on just saying, although I have more people I like this top 4 is the people I want really to debut. If the rest of them, although I like them and I really want them to debut, don't, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm going to be a grown man, and I'm not going to be upset about people not like debuting. And some people I really enjoyed did not debut. But like my top 4, I was like, if they don't debut, I will riot. Like, I don't care. And so, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get to the questions, because the questions will end up showing you my top 4 anyway. Okay, so the question I got the most, I would say, but I will actually leave that one for a bit later. What people also talked about is what I thought of the name. The name that clearly the group at the end got. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The same thing happens all the time, in my opinion, which is they give the fans the option to give out the name, which I feel like is smart, because in a way they can blame the fans for the name choice. But at the same time, like, it's so many people giving so many different names that clearly once an actual name gets chosen, there's never going to be a perfect name. No one is going to like, there's no possibility of them giving a name that everyone would enjoy. It's just not going to happen. There's always going to be the sour puss who didn't like it. And so when I heard Zero Base 1, or ZB1 as like diminutive of the name, I knew what was going to happen. I knew people were going to hate it. I knew people were going to say that it sucked. I knew that. I mean, I remember the horrible spiraling Twitter like hate train that happened when Kepler's name was at first like given. And I'm not gonna lie, I was at the time also kind of like, Kepler, okay. But the reality of it is, 2 weeks later, Kepler sounded like a group name to me. I was able to say it. I had no freaking issue with it, and I was fine. Like, I say Kepler now like there is no other thing besides the group Kepler. Like, to me, it's fine. And Zero Base 1, is it a weird name? Yes. Is it the best name they could have possibly chosen? Probably not. Like, in my personal opinion, probably not. But is it subjective, and as any other opinion is? Yes. Is it probably in like a month gonna just turn into a name everyone can say without any issue? Yes. So I feel like, you know, every single like issue that we could have with the name, we can just throw it away, because in a month, no one will give a fuck. The group will do either badly or good, hopefully good, and the group name will not be the thing that we are focusing on when we get to know this group, okay? Like, they're gonna be so much more than this freaking name, and so it's totally fine. Group names nowadays are weird anyway. Like, you cannot tell me the group names nowadays are not like a completely, like, a mess. I feel like there's always hate towards the group name nowadays because companies are trying to make something weird, something new. Like, I remember the way people hated Espa's name, and now Espa is just Espa, and everyone says it, and no one has anything against the name. The name is like the least of the people's problems with Espa. I feel like we need to chill with the names. Like, a group name is definitely not what should be like focused on so much. Like, it's not that bad. Unless it's something like clearly immoral to use, like, why are we focusing on a group name? Now, who are my favorites in ZB1? That's what I said I wanted to talk about. Basically, my top 4 did end up being in the lineup, which I was very happy about. I was dying when I was watching the finale. I was watching it live, and I was literally like, I cannot believe that my lineup is my top 4 is not going to be in this, because one of them got right out of the way. Like, they started with a rank 8, which was literally the person that got me into the show, Jeong. So I was very much like, yes. There I was already happy. I was like, the person I wanted, like, since the beginning to be in it is in it. So I'm fine. I'm good. Thank you. But I really, really, really wanted Matthew to be in the group. I really wanted Matthew to be in the group. I really wanted Hao to be in the group. And I really wanted Sung Hanbin to be in the group. I was pretty sure Hanbin and Hao were going to make it. I was pretty sure they were going to stay in exactly where they stayed, which is 1 and 2. Rank 1 and 2. I was pretty sure about them, but I wasn't so sure about Matthew. And so I was kind of like, hopefully Matthew is at least 7, 6, or 5. Because, like, I did not, with the way his ranking was going down all the time, I was like, it's either going to be 9, 7, 6, or 5. Like, I could not see him at 4 or 3. So believe me, when they got to, I don't even remember, was he 3? I think he was 3. Yeah, 3. When they got to 3, I was so sure it was going to be Han Yujin. I was like, it's definitely him. Like, he's been on the top so much, it's definitely going to be him. You know, like, I was like, it's for sure him. But I was just trying to say to myself, at least Matthew will be 9. Matthew will be 9. It's going to be fine. And so when they announced Matthew as 3, I was like, I fell down. But then I got scared because Han Yujin, I was definitely sure he was on the top. And so I thought to myself, what if he's like 2 and they fuck something up and Hao is not there? Because we know how they love to suddenly drop the globals, okay? So I was like, please, this cannot be happening. And so I was so scared. But once they announced rank 1 and 2 and I saw that my 2 babies were there, I was like, we're good. We're good. All of my top 4 is there. These are my faves in the group. It's definitely those 4. I was very happy with everyone else who joined the lineup, by the way. That's the first thing I will say. I love the lineup. I'm very happy with the lineup. Are some of my favorites not there? Yes. But do I still enjoy every single person who's there, and I still believe that every single person that got into the group deserves to be there? 100%. Okay? I'm not gonna be one of those people who is out here like saying I wished that person got in because he deserved more. No. There's no he deserved more. Every single person who got into that show sacrificed something. All of these trainees trained hard as shit to be there. Some more than others, I guess. But is that gonna take away from the fact that the ones who actually debuted deserve to debut? No. In no way does that take anything away from them. Every single person there deserved their spot. Final. Who do I wish made it? That is one of the other questions that I got. I am not gonna lie, okay? That's the thing I will say. I definitely had 2 people in particular who I wanted, and that's one thing that I did get a lot of also, which is what was my personal, ideal final lineup. And I do have it right here. I don't have a ranking because I'm not someone who believes in the ranks stuff. Like, I know the ranking is important in terms of like the center, and the first rank is of course the center. I get that. But like, in terms of everything else in a lot of other shows, the ranking to me does not matter. I do not care for the ranking at all. And so the ranking is not there. I'm not saying this as any sort of like order or rank, but it's Park Ji-young, Song Han-bin, Jang Hao, Sok Matthew, Tere, which I'm so glad he debuted. I was like so glad he debuted. I loved him. I really wanted him to debut. Haruto. I really wanted Haruto to debut, I'm not gonna lie. I know that he wasn't loud, I believe. The JYP Psy like whole survival show.
댄서가 있어요. 혹시 아세요?
몰라요.
네, 몰라도 돼요. 몰라도 돼요. 아니 왜 알아야 돼요? 그냥 댄서예요. 미국에 있는 어린 댄서.
I did not know him then, but when I got to see his pre-debut stuff and I got to see his personality in Voice Planet, I really wanted him to debut, and I believe he will. I'm pretty sure he will. A company just needs to wake the fuck up and see him for who he is and his personality and like the way he's gonna be able to captivate like the global audience. And I'm sure if he debuts, he's gonna be like so successful. So I'm hoping still, of course, that he's gonna be able to debut. I know he's in a company right now, and I do believe he's in Wake One, right? And I do believe there's a lot of very good trainees in Wake One right now. And I mean, Tere is probably gonna also continue to join Wake One because he's in Wake One right now. So after Zero Base One's like run, putting Haruto, Tere, and all the other Wake One members in a group would be a very smart idea. Just saying, but who am I? But basically Haruto was one of them. KEITA. I mean, I think that one is probably the biggest, like everyone wanted KEITA to be in there. Park Han-bin. I really wanted Park Han-bin to debut. I'm very sad that he didn't, and I saw that he really felt also very badly, at least from what people are saying and like what I'm hearing about like how he sort of felt and reacted towards being eliminated or the elimination. It really feels like it hit him hard. And I believe that, like, he clearly saw that he was going up, and he definitely has some expectation, I believe. But once again, like, Park Han-bin is one of those people. I'm pretty sure if he debuts, if a company gives him the chance, or if the company that he's in right now gives him the chance, I'm sure he's gonna do great. And there's no doubt in my mind that he's gonna be amazing. But he was one of them. And then I never fucking know how to say his name. Is it Kim Givin? Is that how you say his name? I believe that's how you say his name. I really, like, he's literally like the most memeable person ever. And so I really wanted him to debut, and I was very glad to see that he did debut. So that would be like, that was my ideal lineup. Not gonna lie, I really like wanted that. That would have been like the lineup I loved. Am I able to look at that lineup and kind of feel like that maybe wouldn't have worked so well? Yes. Okay, I'm sorry, but I am able to say that. I am able to admit to that. And I do believe that the lineup that is currently the lineup looks extremely good. I feel like they're going to work very well. And I feel like it makes sense. It's the first time where the lineup is not what I wanted, but it's a lineup I definitely feel like works and makes much more sense, in my opinion. What I will say is this. I saw a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people now, since the end of the show, being little shits about who ended up debuting and who didn't end up debuting. Let me tell you this right now. To all the people who are extremely upset, more even than anyone else, because towards other people, I get it. But like, the people who are upset about KEITA not debuting, okay? Like, there's people out there who are so upset that KEITA didn't debut that they're sending hate towards Han Yoo-jin, a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old. I don't even know how old he is because of the whole Korean age system, but he's like around 17 to 16. He's literally a kid who is incredible, who has a lot of talent, and who deserved to debut. Is he as good as KEITA? No. Does KEITA have years of experience ahead of him, in front of him, of Han Yoo-jin? Yes, like he literally trained for 10 years. Of course he's better at a lot of stuff. But does that mean that you can actually be sending hate or commenting online that he just got in because of his whole like thing. Like, he debuted because people wanted him to debut. Point. He debuted because he's a great dancer. He debuted because he is a good vocalist. He debuted because he even probably is a good rapper, and I believe he rapped during the show and he was pretty good. So like, he debuted because he has the talent to debut. Should have KEITA debuted as well? Yes. In my personal opinion, for the group to be even a global group, which I feel like the group is still global, of course, but like for it to be a perfect global group, I feel like I wanted the 9th rank to be KEITA. I feel like it would have been perfect because there's 2 Chinese members, there's Korean members, there's Matthew to speak English, and then there was KEITA for Japanese. It would have been perfect in terms of like global group, although they're not gonna miss the Japanese because we know clearly that even groups who are fully Korean are like out there in Japan and they have members who learn Japanese, and there are members already in zerobaseone who can speak pretty good Japanese. So that's not going to be the end of the world. What really annoyed me is the fact that there's people out here really on the daily now crying about the fact that KEITA didn't debut, saying that KEITA should be now picked up by this company or that company or this company. And I'm like, do y'all not know that KEITA is at this point, in this current moment, in a group already called Cypher, who has had great comebacks? I think I'm in love, who just has not had that like breakthrough moment. And if all of these freaking fans, these whine babies, took their anger, which I also have because I love KEITA and I wish he would have debuted, but if you take all of this anger into now streaming Cypher's songs, into supporting his group that he's currently already in, and showing support to him anywhere he actually goes, and actually try to, for example, chart Cypher's older songs, like, make it work. KEITA didn't debut here. It's not the end of the world. He's still in a group. Show him support. Go after him. Do not wish for hype to get him. Do not wish for any other big company to get him. We don't need these big companies to get anyone. If you want to support someone, support them where they are right now. KEITA is in a group. Go support Cypher. Support him there. That group has amazing vocalists, has amazing rappers, has amazing dancers. Like, why are we whining about him now winning when he's already in a group and you can literally now go and give him exactly what he wishes and deserves to have, which is the support of many fans? Like, he literally is trending everywhere. And I'm literally here already telling you guys, when Cypher has a comeback, there's not going to be half of those people around. Half of those people are just now on the hate train so that they can pretend to really care for this and say that they really want to ride on KEITA's hate train, and KEITA's train, in this case not hate train because he's loved, but like when he actually has a comeback and these people could be there to support it and to show him this love, half of them are not going to be there. Because that's always how it is. That's always how it is. This is why groups nowadays, more particular groups from survival shows, a lot of times tend to not survive. izone was one of those like highly, like holy groups who did not have this issue, and all of the members after the group debuted, I was like, when I saw the like train of things that was going on around with izone, people really like giving all of their money to like make them a permanent group. I was like, I just hope that all of this energy is equally also there when these members go into new groups or debut solo. And it did. Okay? I'm not gonna lie. All of the members from izone, whether it's the solo members or the members who have actually gone into a group, I feel like are doing very well when it comes to the industry, which is not something that happened before. And I really hope this happens also with Girls Planet and with now Boys Planet. Like, if you enjoy these trainees, just because they didn't debut in a group, who's temporary, by the way, Cypher is there and it's a permanent group. So if you want to support KEITA, do it. Go and actually listen to Cypher. They have amazing songs. Stream those songs. Make them chart right now. Make them news. Give him the opportunity to actually have like the success that you are saying he deserved to have in zerobaseone. All you need to do as a fan is very simple. It's actually take those people that you suddenly love clearly, and support them outside of Boys Planet. Just because they didn't debut in Zero Base One does not mean that their career is over. KEITA is in Cypher, go support Cypher. Jay is in a pre-debut group, and honestly there, I do believe some fans have the right to be mad. Not that he didn't get into Zero Base One, but that their company is like almost playing around with them at this point, because I've been seeing them around since literally 2018 or 2019. And I don't know why they just keep on like having them as trainees. They clearly are great enough. I don't know why they don't just put them in a group. There I understand some people's frustration, but like most of these trainees have the capability of, if you show them support now, and if you actually go and like make, you know, their name known, and if you support them online, like either companies will see that support and try to contact them and get them, or the companies that they're under right now already will be there for them and help them and see that the support and money that they might put into them will be worth it. But if people are now only being upset, and then if the company actually uses money for those trainees and you don't support that, then they will not continue to do it. That's for sure. At this point in time, with the amount of support that KEITA is getting, with the amount of like times he's trending online because of this whole thing of you guys want KEITA to be like so successful as he deserves, Cypher's next comeback should win. I don't even know how many wins. It should be on Billboard at this point, the charts on Billboard, because he's so loved globally. He was one of the most voted global trainees ever. So if you guys in his next comeback are not there, that's on you. And you cannot blame Mnet for not putting him on the show. You cannot blame anyone else. Like, you guys decided to make a whole riot online because KEITA didn't debut, and then you were not there for him when he actually had a comeback with this group. I also got the question of if I was surprised with the first place. They come from Yeonjun, Jimin, Lover. I was pretty surprised with the first place, I'm not gonna lie. At the same time I wasn't, because like Hao had been doing amazing throughout the entire show. And it was always kind of like, you know, I did expect Sun Hanbin to be first place, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. First of all, just based on like story, like most centers all centers have been Korean. Not fully, because Somi was a center in IOI and she got first place in Produce 101. But she 101? Was it Produce 101? I don't even know how the first Produce was called. I sometimes mix them up. But she was the center, and she is not fully Korean, but she is half Korean. This is the first time that the center is like fully foreign, like fully not Korean. And honestly, I feel like I wouldn't have been that like, you know, like maybe surprised if it were Japanese. The fact that he was a Chinese, like first rank center of the not produced show, but like a survival show in Korea, was what I believe made me more like, oh my god, because I feel like there is a lot of like more hate in Korea specifically towards Chinese idols. And so the fact that Hao did that, like, that man is just iconic. Okay, like he's probably gonna be my bias. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I got into the group for many other people. He ended up being one of the last, I believe, that got into my like top 4. Like, he was truly the last to get into my top 4. But he has been like really, like, I've been loving him. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, he is most likely gonna truly become my bias in the group. I know that there's a lot of like stuff going on about him now. Clearly, we know how it's going to be. I hope that we are able to protect him from like these annoying Korean netizens who are not happy with the fact that he got first place. Although I've seen a lot of positivity towards him, I do think that Korean netizens are happy about him and like supporting him, mostly because of his friendship with Hanbin. Not gonna lie, I don't like to say it. I do want to give him credit because he deserves it. But I do believe, unfortunately, that in Korea, the love he's getting is based on the fact that he is very good friends with Hanbin. And people love Hanbin, so they're less, like, possible to hate on Hao. But there's clearly already people out there, like, talking shit about him, talking shit about his sexuality. because the icon that he is, he once, most likely even as a joke, made a whole like thing about saying that he would not support straight people and like marriage between people of different sex, which is such a joke that I also have done, but it does not mean that he's gay, by the way. The group just in general, I feel like the trainees in just in general, they feel very comfortable with themselves, which is something that really also, I believe, made me like Boys Planet a lot, which is, like a lot of people are saying it was Gays Planet. And I don't think I enjoyed it because I believe all of them are gay, but I did enjoy it because most of those trainees felt very comfortable with their feminine side, and none of them really felt like the typical toxic masculine, like, everything needs to be like this, and I hate it if anyone like smells like flowers around me. And so I feel like I enjoyed Boys Planet a lot because of that. Not because I feel like they're gay or think that they're gay. Their sexuality means nothing to me. I am not anyone here to question that. But I do enjoy the fact that all of these members feel very current. They feel very this generation. They feel very like open-minded, and I feel like that's something that is really needed in K-pop a lot more. And so I really hope that they have the possibility to do something quite different. One question I did get was what I think or what I'm waiting for or what I sort of expect or anticipate from this new group. One thing I would really, really love is for them to be able to make and have a concept that isn't typical of boy groups. I am having a very hard time getting into boy groups now. And that's because most boy groups have this very saturated, it's always the same concept. I go into a boy group and come back and I expect powerful, masculine, like energy, and it's just always like this, and I feel like not many groups are doing the exact opposite. I feel like at this point in time, groups, I would say I go into their like comebacks not 100% sure on what they're gonna do, and that I feel like are not relying on that we need to be powerful sort of thing, are TXT, which is why they're one of my like favorite boy groups at this point. Stray Kids, because although Stray Kids has very powerful like comebacks, they do also have the possibility of making comebacks that, although they're powerful, they're not like the typical powerful. They're not like Boy Crush. They're not the typical like We're Dangerous sort of like thing that every group is doing. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Most of these boy groups are doing amazing in my opinion, and the songs are good. It's just that if you put them in a lineup, like a lot of times most of the songs from boy groups sound to me like the same song. There's nothing like really different there, and if someone does something different, then they're not given support and they end up going for exactly what everyone else is doing that kind of gets them a bit more views and a bit more sales. And so the fact that if I heard a lineup of all songs released, Stray Kids and TXT would definitely have a different sound, and they're not the only ones, but like these are the ones that I like sort of like the most. I feel like I want zerobaseone to have the possibility of being exactly within that line. I want them to make something and to make a song that feels completely out of the blue. Girl groups right now are doing incredibly well because of that. They're doing songs that like really do not feel like songs you listen to every day. Like Love Dive won, in my opinion, a lot of what it won, and it literally became the song of the year because at that point in time, that song really felt unique and different. It felt like a song that was not necessarily done everywhere. Like most of the lesserafim songs, for example, have also felt exactly like that. They have not felt the same. They do not feel like there is a cohesive sort of like, oh, I know what lesserafim is gonna do. Like, no, there's not that. And I feel like boy groups have really gone to a point where they show you their abs, they will dance to a point where it feels like their arms are gonna fly off, and they're not out here trying to make songs like that feel unique. ATEEZ, for example, is someone that is very powerful, but they do something that is quite unique to them, and so I like them because of that. Although they're powerful and they're very like these things that I just said, they do them in their own twist and their own way. And I hope that this boy group is able to do that too. I hope that they're able to find a sound that is theirs. I hope they're able to find a way to make them into a group that doesn't feel generic in a way. I just hope so. I hope so. Like, Jelly Pop was such a good song. I feel like, for example, if they were to go the route of Jelly Pop, I would love it. For example, Hot Summer, although I love the song. Once again, it's one of the greatest examples of this. I loved Hot Summer, but Hot Summer felt like the typical boy group song. And Jelly Pop didn't. It felt much more bubbly. It still had the power. It still had the masculine thing, but it just felt different. And I know that there's a lot of groups out there doing Jelly Pop type of sound, but then again, like I say, they're not given the support that they maybe should, because people that like boy groups a lot of times like the dangerous stuff, and then these groups do one comeback that I love, and then they suddenly go and do something else, and I'm like, that was so good. Why didn't you stay there? Why did you go for the trend? I get why, but like, I really wished you would have stayed there. The last question I got was, do you love haobin as much as I do? And that was from Lex on Twitter, and let me tell you, my gay ass loved haobin, okay? I never expected such a thing to happen. Like, I don't think even they expected it, to be honest, but it definitely did help them. And if anyone says that that didn't happen and that it had no effect, you're lying to yourself. It is a reality. People love their friendship, and it definitely helped them get votes together, and it definitely helped the fact that the finale basically looked like their wedding at that point. Like, it never happens that the first and second rank go up the stairs together. There's literally thousands of TikToks of staff members telling them to let go of each other and to go separate. And they literally are videos of them saying, we're going together. And Hao particularly saying, you're going together with me. Like, when that's not supposedly the point. I feel like they really, first of all, I do believe that they really like each other in terms of like, they really found a great friendship there. And I love the fact that they debuted together. And I'm really gonna be hopeful that they continue that. But I really like them a lot. I really like their friendship a lot. I feel like their friendship was something so like unexpected, because I wouldn't have expected those two in the beginning to kind of go towards the friendship that they ended up going to. The fact that they ended up being so like such friends to me was amazing. Amazing. I loved it. I loved it so much, and I still love. And I actually plan on doing a video on them or on their moments. So if you're excited for that, then continue on with this channel, subscribe. But yeah, basically to finish off, I am excited about zerobaseone. I'm excited about Boys Planet Trainees. I don't think that there was ever a survival show that made me feel quite like this. I've never been this excited about a boy group in a while, so I'm very excited to see what they're gonna bring, to see if they're not gonna let me down in terms of like the company, what choices they're gonna make for them. I hope that the company takes that into consideration and tries to not make them into a generic boy group that like is gonna release music that any other boy group could have been releasing at this point. I hope they capitalize on the fact that they have amazing, like, if they don't capitalize on the talents that they have within that group, I'm gonna be so upset. You have an amazing Tutter and Whacker in the group. Put that into choreo, okay? I know that they're not gonna probably want to do that because it's very like queer community coded, and people already are talking about them a lot within that realm and speaking a lot about them within the community, the LGBTQ plus community. And probably Korea, given how Korea is, are not gonna want to do that. But if they don't capitalize on the fact that they have that many slayers in one group, it's just dumb. It's not about gay or me wanting them to feel gay or want them to be gay. That's not it at all. It's just that that's a very, first of all, it's a pretty well-known dance type. It's something that is very trendy right now. It's something that they clearly do know how to do well, and they're literally trained in that, specifically hanbin. Like, if they don't capitalize on that at least one bit, I don't know what you're doing. If you don't capitalize on the violin skills that Hao has, what are you doing? Like, they need to capitalize on the fact that these members are talented as shit. And so they need to capitalize on that. Give them vocals for TED, give them great raps for like the rappers, give them great dances for the dancers, like capitalize on the talents that the group has, give them comebacks that feel like that it's for them and it can't be for anyone else. I feel like that's a great way to do it, and a lot of times these companies don't try to capitalize on that, and they should. Okay, so my dogs are barking, but we're gonna ignore them for a bit because it's basically just me wanting to wrap up the video. I know that there's going to be people out there with a different opinion on certain things, and so I would say I'm going to open up, so to say, for discussion, everything in the comments below. Be nice, because if you're not, I'm going to delete your video, your comment. That's just not even up for questioning. But yeah, if you have any questions, if you have an opinion, if you're able to say it in a nice way, I would be much more than glad to comment on back and to actually tell you what I believe and what I think. So I guess that's basically it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. If there's more videos or if you want more stuff on Boys Planet, do let me know. Like I said, I'm going to do some videos on Boys Planet definitely, because like I said, I'm kind of obsessed with them. So I guess that's basically it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.